I live where there's ticks. So sometimes I don't like a poppy seed thing.
Yeah.
Because I'll look down and I'll be like, there's a whole bunch of ticks on my...
No.
Oh, I almost said something horrible. My bush. I tick in my bush.
Oh, fuck, the worst.
I got a tick in my bush. That's a new song we're gonna sing on our tour. In my bush.
I got a
Tick in my bush.
Season 4 right here. I had a really hard day yesterday, and I gave in to everything I wanted. I treated myself to everything.
Treat yourself.
But like every single... The problem with treating yourself is that when you treat yourself to everything, nothing is a treat any longer.
Oh my God, that's so deep.
It's fucked. It's really bad.
Wow.
I literally yesterday, this is psychotic to say out loud. I was just having a day and I walked out of my house. Like I was like, I gotta get out of here. I walked out. I went to the store and bought clothing. I went to the nail salon and got my nails done. And then I walked and picked up dinner. And I was like, nothing is a gift anymore because I've just treated myself.
Can you say that proverb again when you treat yourself?
Like how you're asking it like I'm like a fucking like
I want to write this
meditation
down.
teacher.
I want this written on a little rock in the bathroom.
I can do that for you. What if I just start, should I start one of those rock businesses in LA and just like put inspirational rocks everywhere?
So you said, if you treat yourself.
If you treat yourself to everything, nothing is a treat anymore, any longer. I don't know what the initial.
If you treat yourself to everything, nothing is a treat anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just basking in that for a second. Deep. Welcome back to the OverheardLA podcast.
Fuck.
I'm Emily from OverheardLA, and I love inspirational quotes on rocks.
And I'm Justina from OverheardLA, and I'm going to get myself into some credit card debt if I don't rein it in.
That's such a good sweeping statement.
It's so true though. So I'm just like, you cannot treat yourself every day.
That was really deep. No, but it actually is true because I'm always like, I deserve a little treat.
Every day I deserve a little treat.
Yeah.
If I'm happy, treat. Sad, treat.
But I do believe that we all deserve a little treat every day. But not all the little treats.
Not all the treats.
Yeah, you deserve a little treat.
I hit up one street in LA yesterday and spent half my net worth.
Speaking of girl math, girl logic, I'm really excited about the stuff we put on the account yesterday, which is also today's mailbag, because we were having this conversation on the podcast a couple weeks ago about superstitions, and you have taught me so many Eastern European superstitions I didn't know about. So we asked our audience, send in your weird and unique superstitions, and I learned so much. There are so many that I didn't know were a thing, and things you should do for good luck, and obviously there were a lot of Eastern European ones, but I'm really excited to get into this mailbag because I don't know where you guys are coming up with these, but they're great.
That's what I always want to know is I'm like, obviously it's passed down, or in my case, it was passed down, or it's I learned it, somewhere through childhood and it stuck with me. But I'm like, who originated these superstitions? Where are they coming from? Also, I was thinking about the fact that I think that superstitions are technically at odds with being Catholic. So I'm not really sure where that plays in from the Polish upbringing.
Because they're witchcraft?
Yeah, I think, right? Isn't a superstition more kind of in the witchy realm?
You're kind of a witch.
Oh, I think I'm a witch for
What's
sure.
What's your most intense one you believe as a Polish witch? There's our clip.
That's a silly thing to say. I don't think any of them are stronger than the others, but I will tell you this. If I'm on a walk, there's a woman who walks a dog in my neighborhood and she has a black cat and the cat just roams with them.
Yeah.
And every time I see them, I have to parallel path.
Really?
I change direction. I will not.
I've got nothing against black cats.
I don't have anything against them. I just don't want them
but
crossing my path.
But I don't think they're bad luck. I think they're cute.
A lot of people have said they're not bad luck, but I'm not really willing to test the odds.
I think they're cute.
The other one, which I don't know where this originated, this could be family lore, but it's shoes on the table.
And we got a lot of that.
And obviously it's a dirty shoes, of course, not fucking dirty shoes, but even brand new out of the box, get them off the table.
We got lots of variations on the shoe thing, shoes flipped on their side or shoes that are facing the door. There's a lot of stuff out there about shoes.
The one that I'm interested in that I do not know about, and I saw it submitted a few times, is blowing something through the door.
Yeah. It was blowing cinnamon. But then there was another one that was lime juice and salt at the door, and I was like, are we taking shots?
A margarita.
Now? Yeah.
I
lots
actually
of
would
stuff
prefer.
lots of stuff in the doorways. I
By the way, we had some people in the DMs who are me to a T, where they were like, "But which way through the door?" And I'm like, "That's me."
So
I'm like,
many people
"Do
wanna
not
be
let me
answered.
fuck this up."
It's like, I don't know. I mean, hopefully out. I don't want a bunch of cinnamon in my door, in my house.
I mean, for good luck, I'm willing to do it. Also, it probably smells yummy.
yeah, that's true.
I think my other big one is you don't gift a watch, because that, like, you never gift somebody a watch because that means like you're counting their time.
Oh, like
Yeah.
a threat, like your days are numbered, bitch.
Yeah. So those are my top.
Wait, so how do you
picks.
account for all the people that like Rolex is the best gift?
Yeah, well, not from me, baby. You're never gonna get a Rolex from me.
You heard it here first. Don't get Justina a Rolex.
Not only because I seem to keep treating myself and can't afford one, but also because it's bad luck. Do you have any that you follow?
I don't know if this is superstition. I don't know what culture this came from. This is Emily culture. On the way to anything important, like a shoot, a meeting, an interview, an audition, if you blast Unwritten in the car, Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield, it is like you could like lift a house after that. So I believe in that as like a good luck, like
It's a ritual.
a ritual, but also kind of a superstition. I implore anyone out there to blast Unwritten in the car before anything important and not feel like you just did cocaine. It is powerful. And
It's a good
especially
song.
in the car with like all the windows up.
Up or down?
You got to lock the
Like
sound
hotboxing
in.
yourself. That's crazy that you said it like that. In the
I
car with all the windows up.
I enjoy hotboxing myself with early 2000s power ballads. Actually,
That actually checks out.
were you an NSYNC girl or a Backstreet Boys girl?
I was an NSYNC girl.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I liked it wasn't that I didn't like Backstreet Boys. I just had
an
more.
allegiance. It was like one or the other for me. It was one of my first concerts.
Ooh, what was your
NSYNC.
first concert?
I went to Hillary Duff in like 5th grade.
What?
Like a Hillary Duff show, like a small show. Yeah. and I got-
Lizzie McGuire
and I got
live
to
in
meet
concert?
her. Wait,
What?
this is like a crazy tangent, by the way, of talking about 5th grade.
You have the weirdest, like, niche little, like, oh yeah, I met Paris Hilton at a club
Okay.
once.
Wait, this is a crazy web of things. Quickly. So my friend in middle school, like this boy I was in school with, his dad worked for Mattel, the toy company. And his dad invented, do you remember the hit clips?
Yes,
It
of
was
course.
like a lollipop you'd put in your mouth, or you'd put it in your mouth and it would like play a sound.
I don't think you were putting them in your mouth. I think they were like the little, like, weren't they the little like square things, and then you would put the little like music
Yes.
things in
Okay,
them?
wait, that's what a hip clip was.
I like that you're conflating.
But there was another thing that you put in your mouth, like a lollipop, and it played music.
No, we didn't
Like
have
you
those
would
in the
hear
Midwest.
You would hear it in your head. Wait, this can't be like a fever dream.
I'm obsessed.
I need somebody listening to this to tell me what that was called. Anyway,
Okay, we'll come back to that
and
one.
hit clips, all that to say. So he had an in somehow, and Hillary Duff at the very, very beginning of her like solo music career was playing like a small venue in like Petaluma, and we got to go. And then I got to go in her trailer
Hold
afterwards.
on.
and
What
meet her.
time period of Hillary Duff is this?
I was in like 5th grade. So this would have been like when her first album came out. Like this
Let
was
the
like when
Rain
she
Fall Down.
started her singing career.
Let the Rain Fall Down.
Was that her first
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I didn't go to the concert.
metamorphosis? I don't know. But all I remember is then we got to go in her trailer after the show and like meet her. And I just remember holding her dog. She had a cute dog.
Was she so nice?
She was really sweet. There's a picture somewhere.
Well, you telling me, you're like, you put a lollipop in your mouth and then you hear the music in your head, and I'm like,
I just like saying like hit clips and you being like, you don't put those in your mouth. It's like, remember those iPod things you would bite down on and just like,
when you would
no.
shove it down your throat. That's hilarious. That's a great story.
What was your first concert?
Yeah, my first concert was something from, there was a radio station in Chicago called B96, very popular, which I think is like
Yeah.
the same thing as like the Kiss Jingle Ball and all of that. So it was like a lot of people performing, and that was my first one. It was crazy. So it was like, you know, an all-day festival at like a speedway, like in Illinois, wild. But one of my core memories of life, Cisco was performing
Like thong
that
song.
thong.
How old were you?
Too young to be listening to
Just
that.
like
I mean, my mom
child
had,
Justina, like knowing all the words.
I mean, I
Let
probably was like
me
12 or
see.
13, but it was so fun. I mean, it was just like the
that is
first,
fun.
it was like the first day out where like your parents like let you run
Yeah,
loose with your
yeah.
friends in a field. And then it's like,
To Cisco.
I think it was like Enrique Iglesias,
Oh man.
Cisco, and
Oh,
then there was Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore was the other
I
one.
loved Mandy Moore.
It was the best day of my life.
Well, this is a very musical episode.
It is a musical
I am
episode.
very, very excited about this. We've got a duo coming to the office today, which is
Ooh.
very exciting. Our guests today are two incredibly funny women that are, oh my God, we're so excited. You know them from Freaks and Geeks, SNL, so many iconic movies, and now the brand new season of Girls5eva. It's Busy Philipps and Paula Pell. Welcome to the office, Busy and Paula.
Thanks for having us here.
Thanks for having it. It's beautiful here.
Also, thank you for making time in your crazy schedule. Like I've been following you guys
crazy.
on Instagram and I don't know how you're awake right now.
I think one of the first things I said in one of the interviews last week was, in terms of my friends laughing at me, that I walked around my kitchen the other day and I went, pop music. And I went, popular music. And I just connected that. And the three of them looked at me
I couldn't stop laughing.
and just could not stop laughing.
I can't say that's like an obvious thing I would have thought with pop music.
Thank you.
Like I may have just had, I don't know. It's just like, what
did
don't
you
think?
What did you
Yeah,
think?
what did you
you.
think?
Like pop is a word. Like
I
Kleenex.
thought it was like pop art, but pop art is probably popular
It is
music.
popular. It is from pop. It's all from popular.
It's not that I thought it was anything else. I just have never
Wait,
thought
is
about it.
is it popular corn?
It should be.
Well, there's also the pop. Also, I was going to say there's also the sound, right?
Pop culture.
Pop. Like, so
Right.
I mean, I get, or so, maybe you thought like pop music is like snappy. And
I always thought pop
popping,
art was
popping.
like,
yes,
very
like the sound.
Yes.
An onomatopoeia. Is it an onomatopoeia?
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah, it's an
I'm never not going to think of
onomatopoeia.
popular corn. For pop music, we are obviously talking about Girls5eva, which
Yes,
is
we are.
the show we are talking about. Because I was about to be like, you guys are like a real girl group, but just to give context, you kind of are at this point.
At this point, I feel like it's true.
Yeah. I feel like the level of art imitating life, like last season at the beginning of the season, that summer before my knee replacement collapsed and I had to get another knee
Oh my
replacement.
God.
So that was my third knee replacement on two knees. And I called crying to Meredith and she was like, there is no other show that's better suited to accommodate this twist that Gloria's character would get, like trying to be a pop star, get her knee replaced. So she wrote it into the freaking show. And
Oh yeah.
but we really so many times look at each other and we're like, we are our character.
We really are.
I saw
really
you
are.
performed too in New York.
We
Yeah, we
did.
I-
I was also just wondering, literally 10 minutes ago, why we didn't schedule some sort of performance
I know.
in LA.
That would
It's
be
not
great.
too
I
late.
also want to know that.
Well, I just
Erewhon
saw-
is down the street.
I know. I did just see that Sarah Bareilles announced her Hollywood Bowl show
saw
today,
that.
which is so exciting. So I don't know. Maybe we just finagle our way on stage.
It's like the JT in sync situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys
Wait, you
are the
guys
surprise
should
guests.
open like surprise.
Hopefully,
Well, we won't-
hopefully by then we'll
We'll
all
say
know what's happening with,
Yeah,
with
maybe-
everything.
maybe
Maybe we'll
we-
have our
We'll know we're
new
going to
season.
get to go for a fourth season.
I mean, we're just putting it into the ether.
Well, this
Here
is
it
a
is.
manifestation podcast.
I mean,
That's right.
Truly,
I
we
see
are-
some
we've
crystals
Got
in front of me,
crystals.
and I
Busy,
am
feel
here
like
for
you
it.
know this stuff well.
I'm a real crystal bitch.
Yeah.
I am
so
too.
which one do we hold to manifest season 4?
Either a citrine. You got any citrine?
There may be
Tiger's
citrine
Eye.
in that
But
other
Tiger's
box.
Eye also will work.
I've heard citrine is good for like work, like
Which one's
abundance
Uh-huh.
and things like that.
Oh, I know one of them makes people fall in love with you. That's the big
Yeah,
boy.
the rose quartz is
that one's for
that
sex, I think.
that's
No,
beautiful.
That's just selenite.
Selenite, but that's beautiful.
That's purifying. That's purifying.
That is
We need
that
that.
is
Emily need that
that is
next
very large.
It's a
That
rainbow.
selenite.
It's very phallic.
It's very
Fluorite.
phallic.
That's a rainbow fluorite.
See, Busy really knows her shit.
Well, I knew. I was like, I see Busy
Yeah.
like put her crystals outside and the like on the full moons. Like she's
is
our
funny,
gal.
though.
You should come be our crystal consultant full time.
I mean, I have too many jobs
I was going
already.
to say, I think she
otherwise-
literally is the busiest.
Come on,
little bit.
busy.
Come on. But it's interesting because I, have now lived in New York for almost 4 years. because of the
I
show.
believe 4 years.
I know, it's crazy. 4 years this fall. And I do feel a little bit like my crystal bitchness is like kind of going away.
Interesting.
Not in like fully, never fully, but I feel like it's just different. It's just different.
Like when you leave LA, it starts to
Yeah, LA is
out
just
of you.
yeah. I'm like I'm also I grew up in Arizona. I'm from Illinois. You know, I'm from Chicago originally, but I grew up in Arizona, so I'm very much like a desert,
The earth,
woo woo,
Yeah.
like Sedona.
energy.
Energy, healing, crystal vibe. You know what's so funny? It's so wild that like my kids are essentially New Yorkers now because of the formative years that they've spent there. When in my head, like I lived in LA for 25 years. I'm from the West Coast, more or less, and I feel such a strong, and they were born at Cedars. Like I just was like, I have LA kids. And literally we were watching like the Dune Press thing on YouTube. My kids and I, like, they like to watch those things. When we were filming all of our press stuff for Girls5eva, someone was like, "What is this for? Who watches this?" And I was like, "I know, teenagers and people who love the shows. They just like go on YouTube and they watch the press." But anyway, Timothée Chalamet, they were like, the question for his castmates was, "How do you like your bagel?" And my older daughter Birdie, without hesitation, she's like, "He's a New York kid. He likes bacon, egg, and cheese." And everybody was like, they were all guessing. And then he was like, "It's bacon, egg, and cheese." And Birdie, and I was like, how did you know that? Is that a thing? I don't know that.
Oh my God.
And she's like, "Yeah, Mom, obviously." Like, oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Well,
egg and cheese.
That the New York kids,
I
like
love
they eat bacon, egg, and cheese bagels. That's how they
Well,
eat bagels.
I lived for years in the city, and I lived on egg and cheese sandwiches, like just from a deli with a soft roll and an egg and cheese. Because at SNL, we would, at all hours of the day or morning, all nighters, we would go to a diner and get an egg and cheese sandwich, and I could just, I could just feel it right now. I am so sad because I love sesame everything. I
Me
love
too.
sesame bagels. I
Me
love
too.
sesame. They're taking it out of all the bakeries.
Why?
Like, because
Why?
kids are allergic to it.
Oh no! What about poppy? Can we still have poppy seed?
I don't know.
Isn't poppy
I love
like
a poppy.
opium?
It'll make you
yes.
not pass a drug test.
So if
I've
you
heard.
eat too
I've
many
heard that
bagels,
too.
huh?
Also, it looks like ticks. I live where there's ticks. So sometimes I don't like a poppy seed thing.
Yeah.
Because I'll look down and I'll be like,
course.
there's a whole bunch of ticks on my.
No.
Oh, I almost said something horrible. My bush. I tick in my bush.
Oh, fuck, the worst.
I got a tick in my bush. That's a new song we're gonna sing on our tour. In my bush.
I got a
Tick in my bush.
Season 4 right here.
Season
I like
4.
it.
I have to tell one tick thing really quick.
Oh my God.
Please.
I had somebody come to our house a couple years ago to do an interview from a very large publication, and we just moved there like 3 years ago, and we made macaroni and cheese for this person, and we sat down, and my dog kept being on my lap and all this, and we're sitting eating and talking. He was interviewing me, and I looked down, and it was just a big old tick swimming in my macaroni and cheese, and he was just sitting over there eating his macaroni and cheese and interviewing me. And I quietly got up and I threw out mine because I knew it came from my dog.
It fell off the dog.
Yeah.
I wasn't poisoning him with a bunch of ticks in macaroni and cheese. But now I just want you guys to lay in bed and picture my home and picture how because Busy's looking at me. She's been to my home, but she's looking like how grossed out she is. It's a very clean home.
It's really clean, but also it's hard because you have so many animals. It doesn't matter. They just get
ticks
there.
are anywhere
everywhere.
there's woods. There's
Yeah.
ticks.
They
You
just
can't.
they get everywhere.
And they're terrible in the spring. They're just horrible.
Did he
This is
ever
horrible.
notice or no?
He
away with it?
passed away. I'm not sure.
Rest in peace.
I'm kidding. He did not pass away. He
Who?
didn't I pretended like he died from the tick.
Oh, the
guy or lady. I'm not trying to. He's probably listening. He's gonna sue me for eating a tick.
Oh my God.
No one will ever
Oh my
know.
gosh.
we started filming Girls5eva at the height of the pandemic.
Deep pandemic.
Before there were any vaccines, we were still, everybody was under such intense protocols. And the fact that we even were able to do this show was so incredible. Like, I couldn't, the luck and joy of going from being, essentially, obviously all of us stuck in our homes for months and months and months and months and months, and then getting to go to a set and working on this completely joyous show. That being said, obviously, we've been in the industry, both of us, combined 150 years.
Yes.
And I will say that under normal circumstances, some things during that first season, especially, that would have been sort of more
worked out,
taken care of, just couldn't be because of what
because they'd rush you in.
protocols.
I mean, you'd rehearse and stuff, but it was very like, okay, let's do it. And then you'd kind of come in and then we'd take off our mask and act normal with each other in the scene. But then the minute we'd put our stuff on again.
That first season, even like learning our dances and music, we had to all do separately.
It was like little video clips. They'd say, okay, here's your choreography.
Damn.
Here's your alto line. Here's your part of your song.
And they would just send us videos.
And somehow we would just all get together and do it and look at each other and go, oh, this is...
You guys, that speaks to your talent in a major way, because that's so impressive. And I'm like a huge fan of the show, truly. And you wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. You guys literally look like a girl group.
It was so, when I look at that first season, first of all, I remember thinking... I just taking big swings because I was like, I mean, who knows if the world's about to blow
Right.
up?
No, that's how we were.
If we're going to even see this.
Yeah, for sure.
I literally was like, I don't know. I'm going to do a weird voice because why not? But I'm like, so yes. So there was like sort of a stunt that under normal circumstances would have been probably worked out better. But because of everything that was happening, it was the episode where we rent the Airbnb upstate. And there's a thing where I like sort of get hit and I throw this salad
I come
bowl.
bounding in to the door and she has a big salad bowl.
And with full of salad, and the salad goes flying. It's just like a big comedy bit.
Big metal bowl.
It was wooden.
Oh, wooden.
Oh.
It was so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And it flew. It was like,
in
retrospect,
it hit Renee
like,
in the
mouth.
lip.
It hit Renee in the mouth.
Did it like break a
she,
tooth?
Thank God, no. But she did get like a fat lip. And then if you really look closely, there are shots in that episode where she just looks like she got like a little injection on one side. Like
little
she got
Elvis.
a little filler just here. And I felt, oh my God, I felt so terrible. Everybody felt bad. Like the prop people.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, that's not your fault. I mean,
I just remember turning around. I missed the whole lip thing and I just turned around and she has like ice on her and you were just like, and then I just remember like we were all kind of laughing, but also going like, and Renee was laughing because her laugh is just like, gives us life.
Aww.
She had a laugh fit last season sitting in a diner. We had our last scene of the entire season and they were like, we gotta go. They were so panicked to get this last scene. And we were in a diner and then we were all in our fancy outfits. End of second season. And Renee has to pretend like she's singing a song from doing a Bruce Springsteen Broadway show.
But
and it's
it also, by the way, got cut.
It got cut.
Episode.
But she kept going, something about my Broadway show of Bruce Springsteen songs. And she'd go, Bruce Springsteen. She kept improvising this kind of Bruce Springsteen song that was so not Bruce Springsteen. And she was so into it and like growly and singing. And we were laughing so hard at her. And then she got to where she could not function. And I have photos of her where it's like a wide swath of 100,000 tears that took all her makeup all the way down her face. And they're going, we gotta go. Then she kept turning to me and pointing because she had a tiny, tiny skimpy dress on and she was up against the like vinyl. And she's like, my actual anatomy is against this vinyl.
Yes.
And then we were laughing so hard about that.
We couldn't stop
She
laughing.
just showed me her ass, like her butt cheek and go, I'm literally on the.
How are there like actual things you do to not break? Like, do you like bite your cheek?
I disassociate a little bit.
No, I was going to say, I'm just a disassociation.
I disassociate in a way where I do something where I'm looking, but not looking, like where I just go, I do a weird shut off.
The way that it is now, just filming television shows, period. All my friends, who are on shows or
on every show, every movie.
Everything has just been like crunched, condensed timing and money. And so it is like, there is a part, again, like I said, we've been doing this 150 years and there's no time to break.
Yeah.
So you also just feel the responsibility of like the crew, the director.
The grown-up part of you goes, I cannot do this because this is literally costing the show money that we want the show to keep going and we don't want to mess it up.
Right. And we don't want to go over budget. We don't want to go over time. We don't want them to not get things. And also, like, we want to make sure that the bits work and that, like, it does and it works for whoever's bit it is, you know, which is part of what I guess when I disassociated, I just go to that place.
Yeah.
Well, we do like to do a little mailbag segment. We asked everybody on our account to tell us their weird and crazy superstitions.
Oh.
Because everyone's got some interesting ones. I want to know your guys's, but
I never put my purse on the ground.
I never do.
No, never. And in fact, I just got into a whole thing with the girl who's done my makeup for years, Kendra. When she was in New York, I was filming like a commercial. And I was like, who in God's name has their purse on the floor? I was like so angry. And Kendra's like, oh, me. I went, what's wrong? And I was like, no. It is my number one. You never put money on the floor.
It's the money thing, right?
Pick it up.
I always thought it was like a hygiene thing.
I think it's from the Philippines. I think is it?
I don't know where it's
because
from.
I have my ex-wife's relative was from the Philippines, her family, and I think it might be. I might be wrong, but I think it's from that country's like original thing of that is a big superstition that you don't do that. I also am such a I was gonna say homophobe. I'm not a homophobe.
I heard it.
I'm a freaking dyke, guys. I'm not a homophobe. I am such a germphobic person about bathroom floors or floor and so any bag or any coat when I go into Macy's or Bloomingdale's and in the winter and you go into the bathroom stall and you see somebody drop their puffer on the frickin' floor when they're going to the bathroom. And I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot. Or kids, when the kids are crawling on the floor in an airplane or something. And you're just like, no. So the purse is double. I don't want to curse my money and I don't want to get
it's also
a staph infection.
Just so you know, in airports, it's why I carry weird canvas bags or like tote bags with me.
I want to set anything down.
My purse
inside
to go through the security.
Great hack.
And like if I'm gonna put it underneath the seat, I put it in a canvas bag.
That's a great idea.
That's so smart.
Every time I have to put my bag under the seat, I'm like, this has to go on the floor because it's the floor of the plane.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but like for whatever reason in my head, I feel like I put that layer between it.
No, that's genius.
Okay.
Every so often when I go in a house, that doesn't seem like I go in as many houses anymore like this, but like a no-shoe house. Every time I do that now, it really sends me down like an OCD germphobic thing. Because all of a sudden I'll just be like, how many places have I just had my like shoes and then I lay down on the floor with the dogs and I'm on where the shoes were and I was in New York City and like
I'm a no-shoe household.
You are?
But what do you do if you have a no-shoe house and somebody walks in with
stinky feet?
Nasty feet.
That feels like a one-off. Come on, people are washing their feet.
It is. No, it probably. Hopefully, I mean,
no. There's people with dirty feet.
I feel like I hope that the people I invite into my home do have clean feet.
A lot of these like superstitions were like in a germy way. Like somebody was like, I kiss the door of the plane as I'm boarding for good luck, and I was like, I don't think you should be kissing
thank
planes.
you. Don't kiss anything.
You can blow a kiss to a plane.
I fully forgot we were doing a segment. I'm like, I just wanted to chat.
What's another one that they said?
Some I had never heard of. You won't get married if there are seashells in your house.
Oh fuck, you guys, it's not looking good for me.
Never knit a person that you're dating, never knit something or make something for someone that you're dating.
Ooh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, never knit a sweater or a scarf for like a person you're dating. It'll end the
Can I admit what I made for somebody I was trying to be with?
Yeah.
It was just the 2 years I went down Penis Avenue between my first girlfriend and then all the rest of the ladies, man. I had this massive crush on this guy that I was working with. Or he was working at the same place I was working. And I was like 20, maybe 20. And we went out a few times. We, had a little fling. And then he clearly did not want to be in any kind of relationship. He was visiting the country and he did not want to be in a relationship, but I did. And we ended up kind of saying goodbye to each other. And Busy's going to probably flip this table when I tell what I did. I wrote a long note to him in kind of a very fancy, I can do very fancy lettering on kind of a brown paper, and I drew some things around it, and then I burned all the edges like a Game of Thrones document, and then I rolled it up and put a beautiful ribbon on it, and I gave it to him. Are you ever going to speak to me again, Busy?
You've just ruined Busy's life.
I mean, I love you so much.
But later he sent me a picture, because I always used to draw I do art, and I drew a lot of pictures for him at that time. If you don't have a great body, you give other things, and I drew a lot of pictures for that guy, and he loved artwork and he loved my artwork. Then you know what he did after I gave him that scroll? He sent me a rolled up picture of trees with a quote, and it was it was a very cute drawing of trees and a quote, but the quote was kind of way too true. It was like, if you can't quiet your heart, you can't hear the music in the trees or something like that. And I was like, I know what you're talking about. You thought I was crazy.
I mean, the art is very cool. It's very cool that you do art, but as soon as you said the word scroll, then it's like Ten Commandments. Like what's on
the
there?
Burnt edges is what got
like
me.
school projects
love
where
the
you stain it with
I
a
sort
T.
of love it. I love all of it. It's just your big heart. It's just your big heart coming through.
You went all in.
I did go all in.
I love
So did he for a while.
I'm going to give you a high five.
Give her a high five.
Thank you.
Give her a high five.
Yeah, wow.
I
love that whole
You never
scenario.
get a tattoo of anyone's name, anyone.
Yeah.
whether
I
or
have
not-
my ex-wife's initial on here, but my mother also has the same name and initial.
Oh, that's handy.
Deanna,
Oh.
same name, same initial.
So that just rolled over, and that's
But
what that is now.
her tattoo, which I think she maybe got removed, I asked her because we all stay friends. Was my signature. It was my first name signature, and she got my signature on her wrist. And then she was married again, and I was like, oh man, if I was the second wife, and looking at that wrist with the signature, I'd be like, that thing's getting burnt off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it now with on the gas grill.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you out and put your
come here.
put your
I
wrist.
got a bic.
I got a bit.
I got a bic. Get over here.
Bite on the stick. I'm gonna take this off. One of my other superstitions that isn't really, it's more just is I am terribly scared of getting food poisoning. And because I've had it a couple times so badly, so I drive my wife nuts because she's a great chef and she will be making amazing things. And I'll be like, where are these mushrooms from? Or I'll be like, where did we have
we have this
in the
common.
fridge? And then she'll be like, we had some. And I'm like, I don't buy it. Where were they? And she's like, no, they were in there. I go, the ones I got when we came back from LA, and she'll, she won't put garbage in the food, but she is an earthy person in terms of like produce, where she's like, just cut that part off. And I'm so terrified of getting
have this
food
in common.
poisoning.
I'm like the food safety inspector.
Oh
in
my God.
house.
I
get
drive
made fun
her
of
nuts.
so much for this.
I drive her nuts.
The dates that
Are you guys throwing stuff away on the expiration date?
yes, I want
Sometimes.
to. Ian
If
doesn't
it's
want
dairy, I do. If
Yeah.
it's, and I know that's not
because I'm
true.
terrified
It's
of food
kind of really
poisoning.
more for the stores, right?
Yeah.
Stuff?
Well, I grew up very Polish household, so my mom does not believe in an expiration date.
Oh
like
my
she's
God.
like, back in Poland, the bread was in the basement for 5 months and it was fine.
Well,
and I'm
eggs
like, well,
overseas are not refrigerated.
Right.
Yeah.
I get freaked out though, and I throw it out. But I don't tell my mom that. I just do it.
I got
It's very
food
stressful.
poisoning one time so bad, and it was an era where I was working at Disney and I didn't have any extra money, and I kind of made some bad decisions that month, and I got my electricity cut off. I got my phone cut off the day I got food poisoning.
Oh, God.
And then I got another thing that my electricity was cut off, and I walked to my friend's house and stood in his front yard, and I was like, I'm very sick. I need you to can you call the and I started vomiting all over his yard like an animal, asking him to go reconnect my utilities. He was my best friend, so he,
He did it.
he'd probably thrown up on me before.
Also, by the way, that D tattoo does look like Disney a little
Oh,
bit. It
wait,
gives me
yeah,
a
that's
little bit
funny.
of a Disney.
Wait,
vibe.
let
I've picked out the font. My mom's name is the same name, so I look at both. And you know what? I think Busy and I both have this in
Yep.
common. Our former, spouses were part of our life, and that was an era that is our
Still
life. I mean, you had
exists.
children. It's like it made us who we are.
Yeah.
So I never want to delete anything from my life. Let them all, everybody come over. No, I sounded like I was like opening it up, like I say in 30 Rock, where I'm like, Pete and I, if you want to, Liz Lemon, if you'd like, we would open up our marriage bed to you. And she was like, no, thanks. This is my favorite. Is from a Rilke poem. It's No Feeling is Final.
Ooh, I
And
like that.
That's my favorite. That got me through a lot in my life.
It's also a great reminder to have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Both. I think I would get both.
Both.
I think we should get both.
It's both.
Just the word both.
Yeah. They always tease me because I always do want to you know that I love you,
Yeah.
but you know that I both. Three. So we say throth.
Throth.
Growth. That's a
Both.
good tattoo.
Yeah.
Both.
But also both just works.
Yeah.
Because we
Both
talk
is
about that all the time.
Yeah.
We got to hold both.
Both.
All of it.
And like there's a lot of good words that you go, yeah, I got to think of that. This is No Feeling is Final.
I like a good
always.
reminder, like
Yeah.
a functional.
Because the poem is that part of the poem is let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final.
I like
Both.
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 I think that's a good
Maybe
one for
not something
guys.
you should get tattooed. That the Ho Spice
Oh, Ho
joke.
Spice
Oh my
is
God.
so
It's,
I
funny.
had
it's so John
Don't
Mahone.
write it down.
John Mahone.
Don't write it down.
I had to pause it because I was
No,
laughing
it
so
is
hard
the
I couldn't
funniest
go on.
Oh my God.
Joke.
It is
on
so
earth.
funny. And then I was like, what if you got a Ho Spice?
Just call me Ho Spice, but don't write it down because it looks like hospice. I mean, it's a perfect
such
joke.
a good
It's like
It's a perfect
you,
joke.
as a comedy writer,
perfect joke.
you read that we get these gifts, we
Yeah.
get these scripts, and we're like, we got nothing to do. We got no work to do
No.
because this is so good
Guys,
already.
I have been on other shows before where the night before I'm shooting something, I will sit there and then I'll just be like, okay, I'm going to beat this joke because it sucks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just write 10 alts that
Right.
then I'll pitch to the writers the next day because I'm like, it won't be hard to beat this joke, And the thing about this show is that I have
can't beat it.
never one time. I remember the first season thinking okay, I guess now I got to go. I'll get into this brain again and I'll look at it and I'll try to beat these
Yeah.
jokes. And I remember there's no way to beat it.
There's no work
way
to
to
do.
beat it.
No.
There's no beat it. There's
No.
no beating it. The jokes are so funny.
Yeah.
They're incredible. Also, you putting your it's the same scene in the diner with adorable Thomas who plays Gray Holland on the show this
darling man.
season, where you put your leg up on the
Trying to be
table,
casual.
trying to be casual,
Yeah.
made me laugh so hard. I could not and luckily the cameras weren't on us, but I could not stop laughing. at
The
your
fun
leg.
thing is that Gloria has no game and Paula Pell has no game. So whenever I have to do one of those things where I have to come up and be kind of suave, like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, I cannot do it in real life and I cannot do it as my character.
And that's why we love you.
They know our moves. They know what they can entrust us with. Is that the right? Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Entrust.
Yeah,
It is now.
that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't want to sound dumb on here.
Oh my God.
No, this isn't that smart of a podcast.
Too late.
We're just the Crystal girlies. Ugh. I just want to hear more stories
I
from set. I feel like
know.
you guys
We
are
do-
incredible. It's truly a pleasure to just hear you talk.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We love it. We love what we're doing. To have it be seen by so many people that also internationally, so many people, that's so
Netflix,
fun
yeah,
to
it's
me to
incredible.
think of because I love British shows and I love watching shows from other countries. And so do you. And,
Yeah.
And I love knowing that they can do that with this, where they go, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
These 4 American
Someone
idiots.
tagged me, tagged our show and tagged Netflix Nordic. And I was like, yes, Netflix Nordic.
Have you seen the versions of you guys dubbed in other
No, but
languages?
you know
No.
that generally speaking, the actors that play you on shows continue to play you on other shows, on
Really?
other projects.
Really?
Yeah.
Other
languages?
Did you not know that?
No. I
Yeah.
didn't
So
know
like
that.
I learned this
That's
years and years
interesting.
ago, but like, you know, depending on the market. So like the woman who dubs me in German always gets the jobs of dubbing me in German.
I love
She's
that.
like your German double.
She is my German dub. I don't know her, but I'm just saying like,
You better make sure that bitch doesn't learn English. Because it's going to be like she's going to show up and they're going to be like,
dub
Busy,
me.
come on in. And then she comes in and starts doing it. And you walk up and you're like, who is this? And they go, please, ma'am, can we see your ID?
ma'am, please, ma'am.
Please, ma'am.
Yeah.
Busy Philipps is trying to shoot something.
So it's like not like always, but I think they try to. I mean, it's just it makes sense for consistency
Yeah.
for the viewers too, right? Like they hear the same.
I never knew that.
voice,
That's
and
really
that's the same
interesting.
actor, and especially like if you're like a famous person, then that voiceover dub actor in that in those countries are like, yes, that's my job. I'm Julia Roberts.
That's crazy.
Dubber.
Like,
if you're
There's
one
like
of those-
one
yeah.
Japanese Brad Pitt out there that's probably just
I mean,
crushing
this
it.
is what I'm saying. Yeah, they
Yeah.
like have. There are people that like do
Wow.
this in.
So
I know it's
cool.
cool.
Wait, this is a smart podcast. You just taught us all something.
Listen, guys, I'm a wealth of knowledge.
I can turn to Busy and just be like, you know, I wish I could find something for my.
I'll be like, oh, wait, here,
And
let me
she'll-
send you this link. Blah,
I'll
blah,
just
blah.
get 2 links already. I'll get 2 links already of it.
Wait, do you not know Carolina?
And I'm going to say one. I'm going to say one thing to the testament of Busy's soul, of being how nurturing she is, truly in her heart. Is last year I had a very hard time with my new knee replacement. I was having a lot of pain. It was really depressing me. Not only hard to navigate our scenes, but it was very depressing because I started thinking like,
Is this it?
is this it? Am I just going to be old and sore and can't function? And we dance in the show and all these things. And I was getting very kind of weepy about it to them, just quietly with them. And about 2 hours later, the AD comes up and they're like, okay, so we're going to put you in your room for an hour. And there's going to be a physical therapist coming. And it was Busy's physical therapist. She freaking called, got to come over to the studio in Brooklyn and made all the difference in the world and came in
Listen.
there and worked on me.
Listen, I got to take care of my people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
I
mean-
do know the best of the best.
Team
That's the
doctor.
truth.
No, Busy knows every single, like, you could say anything. Anything. You could be like, do you know anybody that trains lizards? And she'd be like, I actually have a friend.
Yeah, I have a friend who knows a guy.
Who used to date a guy that trained lizards, and I think they're still friendly. I'm going to call them.
Well, my physical therapist, though, Carolyn, she's incredible, but she trained under the physical therapist that was Bob Fosse and Gwen
God. Oh, wow.
Verdon's physical therapist. So Sam Rockwell and Michelle
Wow.
Williams like went to
When they were
Carolyn.
doing the Fosse
Yeah,
thing?
Sammy was seeing Carolyn like 3 times a week
Wow.
because all of the body work and
Wow.
the dancing that they had to do, and she is incredible.
Yeah, no, she was incredible, but it
Yeah.
made me feel very loved and very.
And also,
And she doesn't try to get credit. I'm just
I was
going to
gonna
brag
say,
on
she's
you.
not
Yeah.
taking a
She
compliment.
doesn't. No, but I just say thank you.
I
But
mean, thank you.
But just shut it. I was just going to say that one thing, the other thing about her, because we always get asked like, who is the best gift giver? And she is 100% the best gift giver. And she'll do something that is so deeply thoughtful and then give it to you. And then you're so shocked. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then you think of it later and you're like, she sat and figured this. Like she gave me this weaving, beautiful piece of artwork for me and Janine that is our 2 colors. What is it?
It's your birthdays and then the date that you got married.
Like it's like numerology,
sweet.
but
Put in-
visual.
yeah,
And then
and-
it was woven
yeah.
in this material. So it's this beautiful,
it's a weaving.
it's weaving. And she gave it to us and then framed it and then sent it to us. And I'm like, there's just nobody like Busy Philipps.
That's really nice.
It's true.
Just everyone that's involved in our show. I was talking to a friend of mine who's on a show right now, and they were telling me a situation they were happening. And I was like, where was your cameraman? Because I was just like, she was put in like kind of like a weird situation that felt like maybe unsafe, like
Yeah.
not great. And because sometimes as actors and you're doing things and they're like, come on, we gotta go.
Yeah.
But like safety always has to be at the top. You know what I mean? And I just was like, oh, Dave, Dave would never let that happen to me. And I felt like an asshole because I was like, I'm sorry that happened to you. But in my head,
Right.
But I was just like, we have the most.
Our crew is the most. They cry in scenes that are touching.
Yes. Yes.
Men like,
crew guys,
big crew guys
incredible.
crying
And
behind
gals.
the camera.
Crew guys and gals and people.
They even cry when we sing.
They do. It's been an emotional journey, though.
They cry when we sing. Maybe it's my singing. I don't know.
You guys, this has been so much fun. We're taking up so much of your time, and we
you
have
so
to wrap up.
We're
Yeah.
I'm like every single person.
We're
in
gonna
my
go.
You guys have been a delight.
I mean, I feel like you guys have been a
You guys
delight.
have been such
I'm
a
like, I don't
delight.
want to talk any longer. I just want to hear you guys.
Well,
Oh,
we
you're so
we
sweet.
loved
Seriously.
being here, and I love doing anything with Ms. Biz.
I love anything with Paula Pell. I'll do anything.
Let's go
for
get
you.
colonoscopies.
I just had one. You know, I just had one.
I had one too recently.
Why didn't you do
Were
them
you all
together?
I mean,
Tandem.
they're still in there. They're sending the tape is coming out on Netflix. Let's see what happens when it comes
That's
out. What it looks
season
like.
4. There you go.
That's season 4.
Oh my God.
All right.
You guys really are truly so
you so
delightful. Thank you for
much.
coming down
Thank
here.
you.
You're just so fun.
Thank you.
Obviously, everyone knows where they can watch you. But
Yes,
Well,
Netflix
Girls5eva.
and Peacock, but Netflix third
Netflix.
season.
plug
Yeah.
it.
Netflix seasons 1 through 3.
1 through 3.
Catch up.
It's fun, Joy.
Well, enjoy your day and thank you for having us.
Thank
And
you, guys.
Having us.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to
So
give us
fun.
a toodles? That's
Yeah.
our show.
Toodles.
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 Toodles.